All right, we're gonna talk about skylights real quick. I was up here and measured this roof, I don't know, a month or a couple months back to figure for an estimate. I got some rough measurements of the skylights because they're in bad shape. If you look at this here, they're pretty bad, cracking, dry rot, old acrylic-y looking dome. They're never good. If you're quoting a job that looks like this, figure to replace them. Do not use them. I got several people are gonna try to use them. I'm gonna replace them. Anyway, we got the bid on this job, so now I want to verify I can get the skylights before we get into it. There are two of these. Stuff is blowing around all over today, and there's two bigger ones right down here. These are roughly 50 by 50 when I measured them. These were 26 by 50. So what my plan is to obtain the skylights I think fit. It is windy out today, and verify, because if something goes wrong and you're trying to plan and assume something works and fits, and then you get into it and it doesn't, and you can't find the skylights because there's usually a leeway to get them, or you gotta order them, or whatever the case may be, it's never fun. You don't want to start a job, leave it half finished, move elsewhere. Just not good, not a good reputation. So I communicate to the homeowner like, hey, it might be hard, I'm gonna track them down. Honestly, I found these an hour from me, or this one, and two flashing kits. The other ones are south side of Indianapolis. I've got those reserved, but I wanted to verify before we get into the job. That's what we're doing. Typically, they're going to be, now, like I said, these are curb mounts, or, so windy. 30-mile-an-hour winds today, gusting to 50. I ended up unscrewing the old one, pull it off, get measurements of the actual frame. There are typically a deck mount skylight that you'll screw off to the deck and then flash around. These are curb mounts, so it goes over a curb that was built to the roof. If you look in here, there's drywall. We have in the past tried to carefully cut those drywall pieces down and set a deck mount on, but it's a pain. It never looks good. You get into issues where you can't get in there and trim it out. Never easy access. It can cost way more, so just take a few minutes. Don't assume. Lift it off, pull the actual measurements, because the measurements on these, this was a 22-46. Those down there are going to be a 46-46. The measurement of what it says is for a inside curb or an outside curb, but the clearance on the outside curb is going to be 25 and a half wide by 49 and a half tall. So it's a half-inch discrepancy. If it's bigger, no big deal. You screw longer screws, you shim it out, whatever. If it's smaller, you might have a problem. So I want to get up here and verify it. Pull the old one off. It's tight, but it does fit. There is this old, like, handmade flashing they've got on it, handmade counter flashing and then step flashing. Some of this is going to be removed. Well, actually, all this is going to be removed. We're going to redo it. So when we get here to tear the deck down or the shingles off the deck, rip all this flashing out, prep it, wrap it with ice and water, shingle it with the actual flashing kit that I picked up to verify it fits. So you got your bottom and your top piece, your steps in there, your wraps in there. We will do all that, but it will allow the clearance just a little bit more in here. Under this, so once you're roofing it up, flashing it, putting all the kit in, you'll set the skylight on top. Because it's so windy, I'm working alone, I don't want to drop this going back down in the wind. I asked them because it does fit, I'm leaving it screwed off temporarily. We're going to start this on Thursday. When we do the job, we'll pull the skylight off, clean the window, peel the sticker, roof it out, set the light back on. Same with the other ones. Now that I know this fits, I've got to make sure the other one is on order, which it's reserved. These two down here, Southside Indianapolis has them. I want to pull one off and just verify those measurements are within spec, that nothing's going to cause a problem. And if so, I can be prepared with tools, material, whatever we may need, or have a backup plan. It's never fun to assume, and then you run into problems. So that's why I'm here trying to work this in last minute. If you got any benefit of it, you know what to do. I got to get going. I'm actually running behind on another appointment. Until next time, be safe. We'll see you then.